Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Dojo Live this Thursday, January 26th. It is a busy week. We're with show number 3, and I just couldn't be happier. I think it's going to be a really fun show. Joining me as co-host today is Mon Novelo. Hi,
Hi.
Mon. So, Mon,
Hello.
this is your first time co-hosting with me, and I'm so
Yeah,
glad
I'm
to have you.
nervous. I
Don't
am
be
so
nervous. It's going
nervous.
to be fun because
Yeah.
Rodrigo is extremely personable and he's got a lot to share with us. Rodrigo Melato, thank you so much for joining us, Sales VP with Pismo.
Thank you so much, Kim, and thank you, Mon, for having me here. It's a pleasure. I love the energy already. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank
Yeah, thank you.
you. We do try to have fun here as we talk all about technology. And today's technology talk is going to be all about modernization, legacy modernization, specifically for banks. But before we get into that, we'd love to get to know more about your story, Rodrigo. What's your story? What's led up with your time at Pismo? What are you passionate about? Share.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the opportunity. So, I'm with Pismo for the past 8 months, Kim, but I've been with sales roles for the past 20 years. So that it's a long time. But to be honest, I never thought about being a salesperson or a sales manager when I was deciding what to do for life. So I think it was kind of a coincidence in life that turns out to be really good. So having fun for the past 20 years. I think I've been working mostly with a solution selling for some technology companies. I started long time ago with a large energy multinational. And for the past like 15 or 16 years, I think I'm working with some of the largest technology companies in the world, trying to help customers to solve their big problems. The bigger the problems, I think more we can help. And that's what we've been trying to do as Pismo.
That's right. So tell us specifically about Pismo. Who are you? What's the problem that you are solving?
Yeah, so Pismo is a global company. We are headquartered in Brazil. And right now, we are the most complete and most scalable infrastructure platform for banking and payments in the world. So we market usually call us a next generation platform. And by next generation platform means we are a cloud native platform. So we were built with the public cloud that brings
Nice.
our relevant differentiators. We are an API first platform. So again, this is really attached to this new world where we not only need to solve our internal legacy problems, but we also need to connect to the ecosystems and all the partners we have within every single industry. We are based on microservices, and this is key to what we try to deliver to our customers, meaning that we try to provide them really granular services in a very abstract way. So our customers, they can use the platform in several different approaches, and this gives them the possibility to use the Pismo platform not only for a specific matter, but for some different subjects like banking, payments, lending, and other stuff. So this is why I said we're probably one of the most complete platforms for financial infrastructure in the market right now.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for that really great overview of who you are and what you're doing at Pismo. And I think what it does is it really does shed light into this specific problem, what I think is what we're going to talk about today, which is
Oh, that's my cue, right?
that's your cue. Go for it, Mon.
So today we're going to be speaking about legacy modernization is an inevitable path for all banks. And we're going to be
Yeah.
discussing how are successful banks relying on next generation core systems to outpace their competitors.
Yes. So, what is this problem? Why is this inevitable?
Yeah, I think it's pretty much intuitive right now, Kim. But it's good to share some more information with the general public. Before the pandemic, we used to live in this digital first world. So since before the pandemic, everyone was already consuming digital experiences through many different apps, and this included banking solutions. So We saw a lot of different new banks growing with a beautiful digital delivery, with very good new experiences to the customers that were used to the incumbents or the previous non-digital banking experiences. And what happened with the pandemic is that we changed it from this digital first world to a digital only world. So in a minute,
Mhm.
we all were given the only possibility to consume digital products because it was not possible to go to a bank branch anymore. It was not possible to go somewhere and ask for support with a financial product. So what happened was that there was an acceleration on the digitization of the banking products, and most of the incumbent banks or the banks that were in the market for a long time, they saw that it was possible to provide their customers a beautiful experience for the outside. So we could update our websites or the front end for our applications. But still, with the old legacies, it was hard to scale. It was hard to provide this same fluid experience that the neobanks were providing. So why do I think this is an inevitable? And again, I think this is pretty much intuitive right now. But why do I think this is an inevitable path to every bank, every size bank, small size, mid size, big size? It's because we are now getting out of this pandemic. It seems we are living in an endemic world right now with the COVID. But we are seeing new pressures from other standpoints. So now people is coming back to work, but we are seeing, for example, an economic turmoil in almost every continent in the world. We are seeing the fast growing new technologies like 5G with telecom. Now we have the generative AI with chat GPT.
Yeah.
And last but not least, we also are living this talent revolution. In the US, they call it that the people is quiet quitting their jobs. But at the end of the day, people is more selective. They have more options to work right now. And I think you also need to be careful on what you use to attract the best talent and to make sure you not put your business at risk. Modernizing this legacy addresses all the subjects I just put in the table right now. So with a new modern or a next generation core banking system or a payments system, you can be more flexible and react more faster to the economic turbulences we are having right now.
Right. And
So
I want to get back to something you said. You mentioned bank size, small, medium, ginormous, but also these legacy banks. And you mentioned old banks and new banks. And I think in this sense, the newer banks have this advantage because they were able to start rebuilding this new system, from the get-go. And then you've got these older banks with their legacies. So it's like they've got to update, and at the same time, this is moving. It's not like you can stop and say, "Hey, wait, we're going to catch up." Like everything keeps going on as you're trying to update. So where does Pismo come in, and how are you helping with that?
That's an amazing question. And just to add to your comment, I would not talk about old banks and new banks with regards to legacy. I think systems are becoming legacy in a faster pace than ever before. So I used to work with a specific bank that they launched the bank in 2018. And some of the executives, they were really happy because it was probably the first time in their lives that they were working in a financial institution with no legacy systems. So it was from scratch. It was 2018. Last year, they were already complaining on legacy systems and how to evolve the legacy systems to be faster, to be more adaptive, and how to scale in the way they need to scale in current economy. So I think not only banks from all sizes and from all ages.
Hmm.
They need this modern approach to legacy systems, not only to provide right now the experiences and the scalabilities their customers are demanding, but to evolve in a more continuous way. And I think this is where Pismo can really help. I ended up not mentioning when you questioned me about the business, but I can highlight this now. Probably one of our key secrets in the platform, it's our continuous deployment strategy. So right now, and now I'm going to highlight the figures, but right now Pismo is delivering more than 300 deployments a month in average. So this is probably unprecedented, at least in our industry. And this means that we are delivering more, in average, more than 10 deployments a day.
Wow.
And you can ask, what are deployments? How does it relate to what you just said about keep evolving? So deployments are new releases for the platform. We are delivering new functionalities. We are improving functionalities and features. It's think of your cell phone when
Hmm.
you have like an app update. This is a deployment.
Hmm.
So the app provider, they usually say to you in your store, App Store or Google Play, hey, there's an update for this app. Uh, can you please update it to get to have a better experience or to
Hmm.
fix some bugs or etc. So on and so forth. So imagine that more than 10 times a day. That's what we've been doing.
That's
So
massive. Like,
yeah, it's really a differentiator for the platform. And the good news to the customer is that we leave very few technical debt behind. So we understand there are some improvements in the platform. We understand that there's maybe some new features to be included in the platform. And we are continuously delivering that to customers, leaving almost no technical debt behind. So I think this is, again, not seen very often in the industry,
mhm.
but some of our customers are already experiencing this new approach and evolving their platform together with Pismo as they operate.
That's amazing.
Well,
Is that pace due to manpower behind Pismo or with a mixture of your technology? How are you pulling this off?
Yeah, both. Basically, we are a tech company. Most of our people are engineers, so we have a lot of people working to deliver these improvements to our customer. But as you can imagine, Kim, this is not sustainable in the long run when we are delivering the platform to some of the largest financial institutions in the world and growing our customer base in a fast pace. So I think the only way to deliver these differentiators as the continuous deployment approach I just mentioned is to benefit from new technologies like the public cloud. So when you work with all the new technologies, it's possible to implement a level of automation and a level of, let me say, like self-servicing that allows us to deliver such a strategy for deployments. So yeah, we have a lot of people working on this continuous deployment I just mentioned, but it would not possible without using some of the modern technology we have available right now, such as the public cloud.
okay. That's that's really amazing. Actually, it's really impressive. It's massive that you're able to deploy to deliver that amount. Of, like, it's insane. I cannot even imagine. I have just another question regarding this. Like, I imagine like this evolution is actually pulling both your team and your clients to go with you. Like, I feel like this evolution and this need to keep moving as technology evolves is a regular topic here in dojolive. I feel like everyone's aware of these. But how is these? How are your clients keeping up with this velocity, this speed of updates? I imagine that sometimes it's logging every day, and hey, this new thing popped up. Like, have you had any challenges regarding these, or it's just like something intuitive? Is it like possible to just log in and know there's going to be something new and just learn it right away?
No, not really, Monica. So that's a great question, by the way. So for some of the prospects we talk to, when we say we do like more than 10 deployments a day, they are really scared about what Pismo can provide them. And hey, I don't have not even the people or the knowledge to handle a thing like that. So this is beyond my knowledge, and probably I'll have some overhead and stuff like that. And yeah, there are some trade-offs to do. So you need to get rid of some current status quo situations or organizations to make it happen. But at the end of the day, the prize is it's a good reward to have in that sense. So we understand that we need to walk together with our customers to make this transition from traditional systems or to modern systems into this next generation approach. So the way we've been doing that is working side by side with customers. So we have this customer success structure within Pismo that literally is side by side with customer, helping them with the main questions and the main concerns during the transition. And this is experienced people. They've been doing this with other companies in the recent years. I did not mention, but Pismo was created in 2015. So 7 years now. I still feel I'm 2022. Sorry about that. It's
Yeah,
We
yeah,
all are.
we are all.
yeah, and it's already the 26th of January. But 7 years already. So we have a tested install bases that give us the appropriate muscles to help our customers through this transition, Monica. And also, we are trying to work as evangelists. I mean, next generation platforms are not everywhere. So it's kind of new to most of the players in the market, even for the newcomers, for the new banks. So we are also pitching as a company, as evangelists, to try to show the real benefits from adopting a platform like ours. And that there may be some concerns during transition, but afterwards there will be a big reward that it's worth it. And
can we talk about
go ahead,
some of
please.
those? I was just curious if we could talk about some of those rewards here. I mean, in this terms of outpacing competitors, if you have some, stories, use cases, what are the benefits of this next generation core system?
Yeah. Some really high intuitive highlights I have here. So as I said, we provide infrastructure for both payments and banking operations worldwide. And just to give you the size of the impact of using a platform like ours, we have this big customer in Brazil, and they operate with Pismo for both banking and payments right now. And some time ago, they were still testing the platform. Like, hey, it seems really cool, but let's put them into some stress tests to make sure they are scalable, they are reliable, and we
to the cloud.
And to the cloud. Yeah, and to the cloud. So turning this story a little bit shorter, these customers, they were trying some functionalities for their cards operations, and they wanted to deploy a new wallet for their cards operation. So it was Apple Wallet, to be straightforward here. So they, since they were still testing and planning this transition from old style approach to this next generation approach, they developed this Apple wallet approach in both worlds, in their current legacy systems world. And at the same time, in parallel, they requested Pismo team to develop these Apple Wallet functionality within our platform. And the difference was like 30,000 development hours with the legacy systems and 200 hours with the Pismo platform in the other side.
I don't even know the percentage. What percentage of 30,000 is 200?
And to be honest, we were really concerned about telling them that it took us 200 hours. It seems an eternity, to 200 hours to make that happen. We kind of said, hey, 200 hours, but you know what? This is the first time we're doing this. Maybe the next time we'll be more efficient and reduce the number of hours. But this is to give you a big size customer the difference between the two approaches: the traditional legacy approach with mainframes, extensive code applications, and this new modern next generation approach with APIs and microservices. So there's a huge difference between the two approaches, and this is numbers to make it more tangible. A couple of years ago, McKinsey, the strategic consulting firm, they released a document. They made a study with bankings moving from traditional legacy systems into next generation systems. And their understanding from this study, Kim and Mon, is that with the right approach, the banks were able to reduce their transition into these modern systems in 50%, 50%, and reduce costs by 70% using what they call next generation platforms like Pismos. So this is a huge impact to what the financial services industry know on the past years about core banking platforms and payment platforms.
That's crazy, because I think in terms of cost savings, it's pretty obvious, right? In terms of man hours and what all this of things of what you're able to accomplish in so much less time. What does this mean for the end user? Like, what are the benefits that come out of this in terms of the impact that we can have, you know, with the actual bankers or the customers of, you know, the financial industry? Have you seen what kind of impact is that happening there? Is it just exponential?
Huge impact, Kim. So we can think about these as customers. So I guess you use a credit card, you and Mon, and eventually you have seen already these previous approach on credit card statements, where you have all the numbers and letters mixed up and just not rich information. So it's hard to understand when you did that transaction, what was the merchant. And so you have poor information on your transaction. And this is because most of the financial institutions, they have these limiting rails for their operations. This is from the legacy systems. So this was created probably 40 or 50 years ago. And it's despite of the fact that now we have beautiful front ends, on the back end, they are still the same rails from 50
This looks
years
pretty,
ago.
but it still takes me 72 hours to get my refund back in my bank account. Right?
So you have a perfect example for that. And other stuff, like if you make a transaction like Friday night in your credit card, you will only see this transaction on your statement like probably Monday morning. So why is that? Because of the limitations you have with legacy core systems. We have one really interesting here in Brazil. So we have the credit card cycles. They usually length 30 days. And I never understood why 30 days. So why do we use the 30 days approach for a credit card cycle? And this was probably the average time needed to deliver a physical letter in the house of everyone in the country. So you could not use shorter cycles, because in the past you needed to deliver a physical letter, literally, to someone in their house. So this is the kind of limitation we used to have with legacy approach versus the new approach. And right now, platforms like Pismo, we are getting rid of these old rails, and we are enabling customers to have like real-time experiences. Right now, you can have rich information on the merchant you just made a purchase, on the items you just purchased, timing, geolocation. And with 5G right now, we're thinking about this. So with 5G right now, you have technology to have a mini video from yourself doing the transaction for every single card transaction that you made physically, of course, not in the web. So this is the kind of enablers we are trying to bring to the market, and I think they are being really well accepted, not only by the banks, but by the end customers, because they are probably experience they never thought about with their day-to-day operations.
There's a way
Yeah,
to probably minimize fraud as well. I think the
yeah,
faster that
like
we're able to detect
For sure,
things, the
for sure,
sooner we
for
can
sure,
stop it.
for sure. If you use the video showing that you made that purchase, it gets really hard to have a fraud or something
mhm.
out of plan.
Yeah,
Yes, it's a
great.
huge improvement in security.
Yep.
Perfect. We're actually at the final minutes of today's show, so I'd like to bring it back to you. You've only been, I think you mentioned 8 months now with
Yep.
Pismo, but you are
Seems like a
one of the,
lifetime already. Yep.
yeah. I hope that's a good thing.
Yeah, that is definitely yes.
because
Yeah.
I want to talk about company culture, how large you are, but how global you are. What does this look like? What does this feel like? And what are some of the approaches, values, processes that helps bring your entire team together?
That's an amazing question, Kim. So it's not easy to expand globally, especially from Brazil. So Brazil is not an usual birthplace for large technology companies worldwide, global technology companies. We started this global journey back in the end of 2021, after our Series B funding round, and so we raised $108 million to fund this expansion. And besides Brazil, where we still have our headquarters, we now have offices in the US, in UK, in Singapore, and since last month also in India. So company, as you can imagine, is growing exponentially. We have now 450 people all over the world. We are not living the same experiences of other tech companies right now. So we are not laying off people, quite the opposite. We are already in this growth pace. Of course, we are more cautious. We are trying to make a better usage of our capital, but on the opposite way of the current tech industry, we are still growing and trying to get the opportunity we see in some of the markets we decided to go to. So as we grow in different geographies, in different cultures, is as I said, it's really hard to replicate what we've built in Brazil in terms of culture, in terms of accountability, in terms of customer relationship. And I think we are trying to augment what we've been doing well here in Brazil in terms of autonomy, in terms of speed, in terms of trust with the organization, to replicate these good experiences we've been providing here in Latin America and specifically in Brazil. And so far, I think it's working well. But again, this is only the beginning of the journey. So we need to be very careful, very close to these movements to make sure that we have the appropriate autonomy, the appropriate delegations, to make sure we make people grow in other geographies. We give other geographic customers the same experience we are providing here in Brazil. And that we do in a way that is replicable without consuming our available resources. So seems really hard, and it is, but I think we are being able to manage right now.
Congratulations. Yeah, just a small challenge. It makes me think of a guest we had, Danielle Keevan, I believe, with Paddle a few months ago. Time goes so fast. But they're also a global company. And one of the things that she mentioned was always assuming good intent, right?
Yep.
Especially when we're communicating cross-culturally with other team members who come from a different background than we do, right? And so sometimes things can get confusing. And I think that was a really great tip for me.
Strongly believe in that. And we need to keep this fresh mind because the world is changing literally every day. So the opportunities we saw when we made the decision to go global in 2021. They probably still exist, but there are a lot of other new opportunities we have, and we need to be careful to not distract ourselves on the plan, but also to capture the new opportunities we find ahead when we deploy the plan. So it's exciting times, and I think Pismo is really well positioned. I think we can provide customers all over the world with the same experience we've been providing Latin America, Indian, and UK customers the experience with our platform.
Well, thank you. We certainly do wish nothing but continued success for you and Pismo. And here I've got my cat. She's decided to come jump on my lap today. So perfect. Thank you so much, Rodrigo, for joining us today. Hang on just a moment, please, as we go off air. But before we do, we'd like to talk about what we've got coming up tomorrow. You got it, Mon?
That's my cue. Is that my cue? I'm sorry. I knew I was okay. That was
It's
my
all
cue.
good.
Oh,
I could do it too.
no, it's okay. Tomorrow we're going to have the last episode of our Metaverse special or Metaverse. Wait, I lost
the
my
Metaverse
page.
series. It's okay. It's the Metaverse series. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Metaverse series. I just don't have the title anymore because
It's
I
all right.
had
We've got it. It's going to be all about the metaverse and the social impact, answering the question of how the metaverse is being used to better the lives of people with healthcare, education, and more. We've got Flavia de Melo, also from Brazil, Rodrigo, Dianela Gamboa, and Fermin Chavez joining us, all UI and UX researchers and designers with Encora. So don't miss it, 10 o'clock Pacific. Thank you once again, Rodrigo, for joining us here on Dojo Live, and we wish you and Pismo continued success.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
Bye for now.